a book review. I feel like I haven't really done a book review in a while. I've just been sort of uninspired to do them. I've also just finished reading 7 books of the Kingdom Keeper series, so I find it hard to write reviews on individual books and of like a series without giving away spoilers and things like that. And I mean, I don't think we really needed 7 book reviews of each book. On the whole, it was a great series. Individually, some of the books weren't my favourites. But anyway, you can go and my Goodreads is always linked below so you can see what stars I rated them. But today's book is One by Sarah Crossan, and I bought this while we were in London yesterday, and I read it on the hour and 55 minutes that we had to come home on the train. So obviously I really enjoyed it. The pages don't have too much writing on them, I will say, but I just flew through it. I've given it 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. It's been nominated for and shortlisted for a bunch of awards. And yeah, so this is about 2 girls who are conjoined twins, and it's sort of about us getting to know them, but also them progressing into mainstream school for the first time, as their parents can't afford to keep them homeschooled any longer. And the main sort of side you see is from Grace's side. I'm not quite sure which one is Grace, but one is Grace and one is Tippy, and you mainly, like, the first person is Grace really, but you obviously hear them both talking and things like that, and they are conjoined from like their like stomach downwards, I believe. So they've got like 2 sets of arms and 2 heads and 2 hearts and things like that. And I just really enjoyed it, to see them, what it's like. I love books like this where it's something that you personally have never experienced, or you don't know like someone who's experienced it. So like I read one about transgender kids, just anything that's like informational in some sort of sense, or about something that's slightly unusual, like their when I read Everything, what else? What's Left of Me, that series where it's like 2 people inside one brain. I know that's slightly dystopian, but I mean it does happen to people where they have like multiple personalities. Faceless, when she had her face like burned off. So things like that where it's like it happens to people, and they can write it in sort of a fictional sense based off true facts and like true events. I really enjoy reading those books, so obviously I really enjoyed reading this book and seeing how they live day to day. It wasn't so much like the struggles of them living day to day, because they've never known anything else, whereas like in some of these books, like an event or a tragedy has happened and they've got to adjust. This is something they don't know anything else, they've always lived like that, and it's, for them it's not as bad as people think, and people make a lot of judgments about them, and it's quite sad, some of the, like the way people treat them and how like people just stare at them and stuff. So we're all guilty of like just human curiosity and want to know more about them. Give away too many spoilers to how it ends, but there is an event that happens. Everything sort of is going quite smoothly in the book. They're getting on fairly well at school. I won't say too much. They're getting on fairly well at school, and then something happens after they get ill, and then they seem to recover. Everything's sort of chugging along quite smoothly, and the book is, you think it's just going to be sort of your average book. Then something happens and they're told that they're going to need to be separated, and I will leave it there as to what happens, because obviously I don't want to spoil it, and whether they decide to get separated or not. They've always known a life together, their bond is incredibly strong, and obviously there is the risk that one or both of them will die within the surgery. But I really did love it. I will read you the back of the book because I haven't done that yet. Grace and Tippy don't like being stared and sneered at, but they're used to it. They're conjoined twins, united in blood and bone. What they want is to be looked at in turn like they truly are 2 people. They want real friends, and what about love? But a heart-wrenching decision lies ahead for Tippy and Grace. one that could change their lives more than they ever asked for. So also another thing it touched on is Grace is the person that we hear from most, starts to possibly fall in love with someone at school, and obviously their whole lives they've sort of been told, and they've sort of told each other that they can't have relationships, it will just never really work out, even though conjoined twins do have husbands and wives and children. They've just sort of limited themselves and said that, and just accepted and said that they're not going to ever have a romantic relationship with someone. I think just because it would probably be quite weird if they were conjoined, they didn't know how they would react to that. So that's sort of another little storyline that goes on. We've also got, they have a younger sister who has her own troubles of her own, which sort of are hinted at throughout the book and like sprinkled in, and a lot is resting on that younger sibling, because their family are short of money. Their dad is out of a job and is becoming more and more of a drunk, and the girls have to decide, like, they obviously want to get a job and help, but they don't know in what way. And again, they have a big decision to make on whether they want to go public with them being conjoined twins and sort of like be made a documentary, but at the same time they've lost so much, like, within themselves. They don't want to lose their dignity. So that's another thing that they have to sort of decide, whether they want to go public, or if that's like one step too far. So I really enjoyed this book, as you can probably tell. If you've read it, let me know. Yeah, I can see why it's been shortlisted for so many things, because I just love, like I said, informational sort of books like this. Even if they are fiction, they're sort of based, well, they are based on like true events and people's true life stories. So that is my review on One by Sarah Crossan. If you've read it, let me know, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!